forth on X recently with Elon Musk continuing to say, kill the bill, get rid of it. You know, how do you sort of cool the tensions here? How do you move forward when you have this sort of infighting right now online?
Well, look, let me stop. You're going to get hurt. I'm trying to cool it down, as you've seen. I mean, this is not personal. We can have policy differences and not be personal. I mean, I can count Elon as a friend, and we disagree with friends in the building all the time on policy. He's just flat wrong about the bill. I mean, Russ Vogt put out a post on X a couple of hours ago, the Office of Management and Budget, lifelong fiscal hawk, one of the people we all looked up to, and he says this is going to cut almost $1.5 trillion. It's the largest savings that any legislative body on the face of the earth has ever saved. Is it enough? No, but it's a very important first start. And as I've been making the point, I explained to Elon just Monday, I said, this is the first of a multiple-step process. We're going to do rescissions. We're going to do an appropriations process that spends less money, and then we're going to do another reconciliation package and maybe a third one. So we have to do it in proper sequence. Look, I'm a fiscal hawk. I'm a budget hawk myself. If I could cut $8 trillion in federal spending tonight, I would do it, but I do not have the votes for that. So this is a deliberative body. We work on consensus. It took us over a year to reach the consensus to get 217 votes necessary to make the cuts that we have, and it's a really, really important and historic thing to do, and we're giving the largest tax cuts in history at the same time, and all the other big blessings in the bill. We got to get it done, and Elon wants us to go back to the drawing board. There is no time to do that. The debt ceiling approaches quickly, the debt cliff, and all the other things that we've got to do. Jet fuel to the economy, it has to start now, because we need greater relief for the American people, and that's what this bill is going to provide. So he's just wrong.
Are you worried about the impact that some of his statements are going to have?
Look, he's entitled to his opinion. Everybody has their own opinion. He has the largest platform in the world, right? Most followers, so I'm sure that has an impact. But it's not going to change the trajectory of this legislation, because the Republicans in the House and the Senate understand what we must do. We have to deliver President Trump's priorities that he promised the American people. Our America First agenda is encompassed in this bill, and we will all work very hard. And we're not going to scrap the bill just because someone's decided now they don't like it. I mean, that's the way this works. This is a process.
There's some concern from Senate Republicans on some of the Medicaid provisions, the provider tax, the cost sharing. Do you see any room on this side for changing any of those?
The Senate's going to do what they do, but I've told them and admonished them and pleaded with them to make as few changes as possible, because the equilibrium here is very, very delicate, as you all know. I anticipate that they'll put some minor modifications to it, but I hope it's minor. The Medicaid reforms that we are doing here are to save the program. It is to strengthen the program. I'll explain it over and over and over. The work requirements is high on public opinion polling. The removing illegal aliens from the rolls is very important. The ineligible people is very important. That I think the people understand that, because we're saving it for the vulnerable populations. Remember, it's intended for young pregnant women and the elderly and disabled, and those resources being drained by able-bodied young men who are on the program who shouldn't be. So we're putting in a work requirement to deter that. We're doing the best we can to save the program, and rural hospitals are going to be fine. We're giving the states flexibility to determine how to do this, but we have a responsibility in Congress to be fiscally wise and to be good stewards of the taxpayer dollars, and that's what this bill reflects. So I'm anxious to get it signed into law. We're going to do that by July 4th.
Thank you.
If Elon doesn't get back to you within the week, are you